I hope we reach our destination soon, or this weather may prove more deadly than the orcs.
Take heart. We are nearly there, and this snowfall will hide us from the eyes of the enemy below.
Balaram, look! Above the mountain! Set us down! We can attempt to find a way into the mountain under cover of this storm.
There is little chance of that, with those creatures keeping watch from above. Once we land you, my comrades and I will draw off the beasts.
Let's hope those flying beasts are too occupied with the eagles to notice us.
We can hope their eyes are less keen than those of our eagle friends. We may appear to be just a few more orcs among the hordes of Gundabad.
It's a sad day, but I have to hope I'm mistaken for an orc.
Ahead of us. They seem to be searching for something.
Well, it can't be us. We've only just arrived, and they're heading the other way.
But what then are they looking for? These are frightful odds.
Thanks for that, Balaram!
We'll need to work together to overcome these odds.
Back to back. Don't let him get behind you.
A good time to call on the eagles for help.
More time. Needs more time. Can't do that. Again. I'll have to wait.
orcs must be gathering from all across the north.
The threat is even greater than we feared.
We've got no army to match it. That's certain. Not do that yet. Not yet. Not possible. There's no time. Can't do that yet.
Our way is barred.
They'll have to wait. Needs more time.
Ahead, another orc warband.
What are they doing? Studying the ground?
There must be something wrong.
Look, there's a door. Not too bad yet. Not yet. They'll have to wait.
There was a sharp skirmish here. The tracks are hard to read, but it appears the fighting carried on into the mountain. Someone was here before us. There was a fight here very recently.
The bodies. They're dwarves.
This one lives still.
Well then, come on, you scum. Finish it. You're not orcs.
Why are you here? What were you trying to do?
We seek a weapon. We must find it, use it, stop the orcs.
A weapon? What kind of weapon? Where can we find it?
Dwarf weapon. In the stone. Nordri has the key. Find them. Help them. Please. Save Nordenbad.
Where are your friends?
Went on. Can't say where. Now. Find them. They need help.
We're looking for a man called Agendour. Is he here?
Gundabad. He... Nordenbad. He
will speak no more. He is dead.
But there may be more like him within this fortress.
Aye, and they're looking for some sort of weapon. Come on, let's see if we can find them. It pains me to leave fallen dwarves to these accursed orcs, but we have no choice. Are like maggots, teeming in the corpse of once great Gundabad.
They delight in marring the works of others, and twisting them to their own foul purpose.
Caverns echo with the hammer blows of 1,000 orc smiths. Ah, a vein of gold. No sense leaving it for the orcs to find.
What of this? These chains and gears.
This is the heart of the enemy's war machine. They forge weapons and armor to equip the hordes gathering here.
They're making more than that. Can't you smell it? The same blasting powder used against us at Fornost. There must be a huge store of it here.
Then let us destroy the gears. Perhaps we will slow their war mills. More fallen dwarves. We must be close.
You won't find out standing here.
This is it! Quick, lad! Up you go! Nordri! Nordri, there are too many orcs. We'll never hold them long enough.
Maybe not, but we can try. Well then, come on, you filth! Baruch Kazor!
Katana Meno!
We're friends! We're here to help you!
We must work together to overcome these odds.
There's a mounted crossbow over there.
Man the mounted crossbow!
We'll hold them off! Kazan! Kazan!
Keep them away from the weapon at all costs!
Feel my wrath and despair!
I don't know what brings you to a place like this, but I'm mighty glad to see you all the same.
We might say exactly the same. What are you doing here?
We've come to activate an ancient weapon.
With luck, it'll kill a lot of orcs.
What sort of weapon?
You'll see. Once activated, it'll take some time to do its work.
Aye, and it's sure to bring a lot more orcs down on us too.
No time for dilly-dallying. Go ahead and use it.
We'll hold off the orcs.
A horn call? Are you mad? You're calling them here!
I did warn you about that.
This is a tall order.
Another troll. The whole mountain is coming down!
Aye, a good deal of it anyway. Just as we hoped.
You knew this was going to happen?
It's what we came here for.
We had to strike this blow if our people are to survive. I'm heartily sorry for getting all of you killed as well.
I don't think we need to worry about death just yet. Look!
Durin's beard!
Well, this is a day I'll not soon forget. I've seen a few things in my time, but I've not flown on an eagle's back till today. Oh, now that it's a bit easier to talk, let me thank you properly for saving our lives and bid you welcome to Nordenbad, our home. Nordri's father, the Lord Goran, will want to speak with you. Nordri's gone ahead to report on the Gundabad raid and to tell him about everything you did for us.
Why did you lead your warriors against Mount Gundabad?
We keep a careful watch on the orcs in the mountains. When we saw them gathering in large numbers at Gundabad, we had reason to believe they were preparing to move against us here. We didn't like our chances against that many orcs, but we knew about the hidden weapon at Gundabad. So Nordri and I led a small force there to use it against them.
Seems like a suicide mission to me.
Aye, every dwarf was a volunteer and knew he wouldn't be coming back.
But you said Mordri is Goran's son? He let his son go on a mission like that?
He didn't have a choice. After a lifetime of lecturing the lad about his duty to his people, there was no way Goran could say no when Nordri volunteered, much as he'd have liked to.
I'd like to know a bit more about the weapon you used to collapse the ceiling in Gundabad.
It was an ancient defense made by the dwarves who delved Gundabad long ago. Nobody understood the qualities of stone better than the dwarves of old, and they knew that just the right sound can cause solid stone to split. They use that knowledge to build a defense against any enemy who might force their way past the gates of their home.
But Mount Gundabad has been in the hands of the orcs for centuries. How did you know about this weapon?
Aye, it's been in the hands of the orcs for many a year, but not straight through. I was only a lad when my people fought a great war against the orcs, and my father helped sack Gundabad. He was one of the stoneworkers who found the weapon. It made a big impression on him, and he told me the tale so many times I was sure I could find the thing and use it against the orcs.
But how could you be certain it would still function after all those centuries?
We didn't. The whole thing was a gamble. Luckily it paid off.
So, do you have something like that here?
Some things are best left secret, I think.
Do you think the orcs will follow us here to Nordenbad?
Escaping on eagles like we did will throw them off the trail a bit, but it won't be long before they realize it was a group of dwarves that hit them first, and that'll get them thinking about us here. It's not like they're not thinking about Nordenbad anyway, but I'll let Goran tell you more about that.
I'm pleased to make the acquaintance of a fellow dwarf, but between the fighting and traveling and all, I don't think we got your name.
Oh, confound me for an old fool. Bruni, son of Bane, at your service and your families. I'm captain of the Nordenbad Guard and a servant of Lord Goran.
We'll be happy to speak with your Lord Goran.
Just make your way past the door as you see yonder and you'll find him within. The guards have been instructed to let you pass.
I suspect I'm the first man to see the inside of these
Speak with
halls.
Lord Goran.
I am certain I am the first ever to do so.
We traveled east a long way over many mountain peaks to get here. But where in Middle-earth are we exactly?
Aye, it's east you've come. Clean over the Misty Mountains and along the length of the Grey Mountains. You've left the lands of Eriador behind. You're on the northern edge of the land of Rovanian now.
Do you think the orc...
Escaping on Eagle? It's not like they're not thinking about Nordenbad.
I'd best go. What a grand view this is. Bit chilly for my liking, though.
You should not keep the lord of these halls waiting.
Here, sire, are those I spoke of. Allow me to present a kinsman, Farron of Erebor, and also Andriel and Eridan, his companions. We succeeded in our task, and I live to tell of it, thanks only to their aid.
You are most welcome here, kinsman, and no less so your companions, be they man, elf, or eagle. Welcome all to Nordenbad, last hall of the Longbeards in the Grey Mountains. You have returned to me, my son and my oldest friend, whom already I mourned as lost. For this, you will forever have my gratitude and the hospitality of these halls. Know that this is not something lightly given, for never before have we allowed any but our own folk to pass these gates, and no eyes have gazed upon the hidden lake of Azanzaram, save those of our close kindred. Yet for what you have done, I will gladly lay aside our ancient oath of secrecy.
you are fellow Longbeards. Then we truly are kin. I didn't know any of our folks still dwelt in the Grey Mountains.
Aye. In centuries past, most of our kin called these mountains home. But then the dragons came from the far north. One by one, our halls were lost or abandoned. All but Nordenbad. We alone endured those dark times. And thanks to you, we may hope to endure our current troubles as well.
Tell me about this Nordenbad of yours.
My great-great-grandsire was the first to enter the caves of this mountain, where he discovered the hidden lake we call Azanzaran. He was awed by its beauty, and led some of his kin here. Slowly, over many long years, with loving hands and careful chisels, we created the halls you see before you. Nordenbad was never rich in gold or jewels, but its beauty would move even the most cold-hearted dwarf. That is why we have remained here for so long. There is not a dwarf among us who would not choose death over exile from our home.
I have beheld many an underground lake, but never one as large and beautiful as this. Is this the work of your kin?
Nay, my ancestors discovered Azanzaram even as you see it. We have worked with care to enhance what we found. A chip here, a tap there, fashioning bridges, halls, and tunnels. But always, we have taken care to preserve the great gift we were given.
It is indeed a marvel. I would these were peaceful times, so I might bide here for a while to see all your works and wonders.
May I ask how it was you happened to be in so unlikely a place as Mount Gundabad? One does not go lightly into so foul a pit.
We were seeking a servant of Mordor, a man called Agendaur.
Agendaur. We are familiar with that one. Curse his Blackheart.
He appeared before our gates some weeks past, and called us to parley, in the name of Sauron the Great, so he said.
What did the snake have to say?
He demanded that we yield ourselves up to the mercy of Sauron, as if there was any mercy in the Dark Lord.
He lays claim to Nordenbad, telling us if we turn over our halls and riches without a fight, our lives will be spared, and we will be free to seek a new home elsewhere.
Of course, we would have nothing of that. When we defied him, he grew wrathful, threatening us with the fiery doom that overtook our ancestors.
Fiery doom? You don't think...
I fear he may have allied himself with the dragon Orgast who dwells in these parts. With such a beast at his command, we would have little hope of resisting him.
A dragon? So Smaug was not the last of that evil breed.
Alas, no. There are dragons still to be found in these mountains, and yet more dwell in the wastes beyond. They may not be as great or wicked as was Smaug, but they are large and evil enough. Make no mistake about that.
But could even Agendaur persuade a dragon to do his will?
Perhaps not on his own account, but if he speaks for the Dark Lord, even Orgast would think twice before offending him.
Nah. Dragons are wicked creatures, and their greed knows no bounds. Agendaur only has to name the right price.
Perhaps the best course would be to destroy this dragon before Agendaur sends him against us.
Well, destroy Orgast? If only it were that simple. The attack on Gundabad would be a peaceful stroll around the lake in comparison. Nay, if it were so easy to slay dragons, there would be many more dwarves still dwelling in these mountains.
Orgast has never taken notice of us before. We rather hoped it would stay that way.
I have heard it said it does not pay to leave a live dragon out of your calculations if you live near one.
And we cannot allow Agendaur to gain such a powerful ally.
Aye, better go after it before it comes after us. Where can we find Orgast?
You do not lack for courage, I will grant you. Yet we know not where the dragon dwells. No dwarf has discovered his lair and lived to tell of it.
Perhaps Radagast knows this secret, or can discover it. Seems there is little that happens in Wilderland that escapes his notice.
And who is Radagast?
Radagast the Brown. He is a wizard, a master of birds and beasts. He keeps to himself mostly, but he's a decent enough sort. as long as you mean no harm to the wild creatures he befriends.
He dwells within the forest of Mirkwood, away to the south. Perhaps your companion Belaram would know where to find him, for it is said that Radagast is a friend to the Lord of Eagles himself.
Then we should travel to Mirkwood. I am certain we will learn something of value speaking with Radagast.
Indeed. But before you set out, please accept a token of our gratitude. Seek out my steward Galar. I have instructed him to open our vaults to you. I believe you may find something within that will be of service in the days ahead. We would be honored if you would accept a token of our gratitude. Find my steward Galar. I have instructed him to...
I'll do that.
I still can't believe I'm alive. I thought I would draw my last breath in the fetid air of Mount Gundabad. Mind you, I'm not complaining.
I gather you've been in Mirkwood before?
I've been around it a lot more than in it, and that suits me just fine. I don't care for that wood. Don't know how anyone could. But I've often traveled to the eaves of the forest to trade with the Bjornings who live thereabout. It was on such a trading venture that I happened to meet Radagast.
I met a few of these Bjornings on my journey west. What do you know of them?
A hardy folk, and brave, as any who dwell between Mirkwood and the Misty Mountains would need to be. Under their chieftain, Grimbjorn, they've kept the mountain passes and river crossings open, even in these troubled times. But I've heard rumors of war on their borders of late. The high passes may now be closed, at least to those without the benefit of eagle wings.
Can you tell me more about Radagast?
He's an unusual sort. Friend to all beasts and birds. To be honest, I don't think he cares much for dwarves. But maybe he just prefers the company of animals. One thing's certain, there are few people with more knowledge of this part of the world. He even spoke of Nordenbad as if it were common knowledge.
What do you think of our chances against Urgost?
It's not that I doubt your courage and skill. And I'd be mighty glad to no longer have a dragon as a neighbor. But truthfully, I wonder if anyone can overcome such a beast. I just hope your luck proves equal to your daring.
What will you and your kin do now, Nordri?
I'm afraid we're all out of tricks to play. All we can do is prepare our defenses, hunker down and wait for whatever the winds of war might blow our way.
Tell me a little bit about Bruni. Obviously, he's good in a fight since he survived Mount Gundabad.
Bruni's the captain of our guard, the terror to the orcs of these mountains. He's been my father's best friend since long before I was born, and he taught me how to wield an axe, and what it means to serve.
Your father, Goran, does he claim the title of king?
King? Oh, no. He is merely the Lord of Nordenbad. We acknowledge Dane Ironfoot as the rightful king of the Longbeards. Not that he has any idea of our existence.
Someday, you'll be the Lord of Nordenbad. I hope you will re-establish ties with the rest of your kin when that day comes.
Secrecy has always preserved us here before, but it can't do so for much longer. We are a dwindling folk, and this war has only made that worse. Nordenbad is precious, but I see little point in leaving it empty. If we survive the days ahead, we will seek out our kin. My father sees the need for this as well. Were it not so, I wouldn't have dared bring you and your friends to our hidden halls.
Farewell, Nordri. There is some fine stonework here. Very fine indeed. There are skilled artisans here, to be sure.
Ah, you must be foreign.
our distant kin from the Lonely Mountain. Word of you has spread like a beard on fire. Well, this is a rare treat. I hope all your folk are such fierce warriors. The enemy will feel your blows for a long time to come. So, how can I help you today? Back, I see. And what can I do for you now?
Keeping a place like this secret for so long, well, I can't help but wonder if you found something too valuable to speak of. Mithril, let's say?
Oh, we've no such wealth as mithril here. Not that I haven't dreamt of finding a vein of true silver. I work iron and a bit of ordinary silver or gold. A few gems here and there. Mostly we hide to escape the notice of the dragons. Bad blood between dwarves and dragons as well, you know. And then there's all the orcs. But I dream of a day when we could trade for finer goods. I've been working on a silver belt studded with crystal, with a special mount for the gem I crave above all others. The gem that comes from no mine.
I'd know that smell anywhere. You've singed your beard.
Well, hard to be a smith without getting a few sparks in your beard. What do you expect when you're working with a hammer and forge and hot metal? They've taken to calling me Burry Birdbeard. Used to have a beard down to my belt. Well, shorter is safer. Long as you keep a bucket of water handy, there's nothing to worry about.
I wonder how your skills stand up against the smiths of Erebor.
I'm no braggart, but I'll put my skills up against any smith, dwarf, elf, or man. You may think I don't know much, being set apart from others of my craft. But I'll tell you a little secret. My grandsires go back all the way to the smiths that worked alongside the great elven smith, Celebrimbor himself. In the days of ancient Eregion, there was a great friendship between elves and dwarves. We've passed down skills from forgotten times. I know runes of power and other secrets that give my weapons and armor a hidden strength you'll not find elsewhere. You won't complain about my work.
Who was this Celebrimbor?
None was a greater craftsman of jewels and forger of metals than Celebrimbor, who was Lord of Eregion. Close friend he was to Narvi, the great stone master, and to my grandsires. He even made 7 rings of power for the dwarves. It was Celebrimbor who knew that Sauron had betrayed the elves by making 1 ring. He heard the enemy declare himself master over all. He was killed in the first war against Sauron, and many of his secrets were lost. Narvi and his kin were lost as well. Only one of my ancestors escaped to carry the tale. So it's been told from grandsire to me.
What do you know about this Eregion?
The lore passed down from my grandsires is little enough. That Eregion lay west of the Misty Mountains near Moria. That the elves of Eregion were of a kind known as Noldor, and were clever craftsmen. The Noldor didn't know in the beginning that Sauron was evil. Sauron came to Eregion and taught them how to forge rings of power. But after Sauron was revealed, he invaded Eregion and destroyed it. Nearly 5,000 years ago, that was. Doubt there's much left of the place now. But Sauron's fixing to do the same thing all over again. Even here in the far north.
I'd best be going. Goodbye.
So you're the stranger from Erebor. You look like a proper dwarf in spite of that, I guess. Now that you know we're here, I suppose we'll be overrun with distant ken coming to gawk at our lake. Are you here to buy something? I've an excellent stock of the best Nordenbad craftwork, so speak up. Time's a waste.
See here, Goran himself sent me. He said to talk to his steward and choose something as a token of his gratitude.
Yes. He may have mentioned it to me. It was rather too generous of him. Not that I don't appreciate what you did. But how does he expect me to increase our wealth by giving our best work away? Well, here you go. Take your pick. Are you here to buy something?
Your welcome leaves something to be desired, kinsman. Why the sour mood?
Well, let's see. We've got an orc army growing, a dragon hungry for dwarf snacks, and one of Sauron's lieutenants making threats. Pardon me while I break out in a song and dance. Now see here, I need to do some business. So how's about you buy something before I get downright grumpy?
It must be hard to find trade goods when you're hidden away in this place.
We've had a rough time of it here, I won't deny it. Mostly we managed to trade with the Bjornings, the men who live down south of us in the vales of the Anduin. They've good use for our metalwork, and they bring us foodstuffs in return. Otherwise, there'll be mushrooms for breakfast, mushrooms for lunch, and mushrooms for dinner. You wouldn't believe how many ways we've learned to cook mushrooms. That's enough jabbering. If you're not going to buy something, let me get back to my work.
Goodbye. Nobody shapes stone like a dwarf. It's too bad we can't stay for a while. It's been too long since I enjoyed real dwarven hospitality.
Mirkwood is a place I prefer to fly over, not into, but we are ready to go.
You're close friends with this wizard, Radagast, I take it.
The Brown Wizard has been a close friend of the Eagles since he first came to Middle-earth and settled into the forest that is now called Mirkwood, even before it came to have that dark name. That was long before I was born, but I have visited with him many times in his home at Rosgobel when I would bring him news from afar. But I have not seen him since he abandoned Rosgobel.
What could drive a wizard from his own home?
He was gone from his home before I could ask, but there has been a growing threat and darkness in the south of Mirkwood. I believe Rosgobel is no longer safe, even for a wizard. But fear not. I know Radagast's favored places in the north of Mirkwood. We will find him, or I will bring you to a place you are likely to find him at the very least.
If this fellow Radagast can tell us where to find Urgost, we'll have to face him next. Have you ever gone up against a dragon?
No. That is a risk I have gladly avoided. One does not willingly seek out a dragon, unless there is no choice.
You're afraid of dragons?
Only a fool would not fear a dragon. If Urgost has survived this long, he must be full of the guile and cunning of his kind, abominations that they are. And this will make him even more dangerous. But that changes nothing. If we must prevent his alliance with Agandar, then fear must be set aside and the dragon found. We should follow Goran's advice and seek Urgost's whereabouts from Radagast.
I worry about what's happening in Erebor. Perhaps I should be at home, defending my people, rather than chasing after dragons.
Once before, the Lonely Mountain fell before the might of a dragon. Consider what could happen should Agandar win the allegiance of Urgost. Would you have Erebor become a dragon's den a second time? We are the only hope for the North, and we must do whatever is required of us to bring down Agandar. Only then will your home and our areas be safe.
Aye, you speak the truth, Belleround. We're in this to the end, and I'm proud to be standing at your side.
You have but to say the word, and we will press on.
We'll be leaving soon.
We will be ready.